can take you on company space bucks, Robin. You sure you want this? The research isn't everything.
It is to me. And Sam. I need to know what happened.
The Meteor storm.
I can use it for cover from Altera's eyes.
Gonna miss you, Robin.
I'll find my way back.
Approaching 45-46 feet. Surface temperatures. Drop pod deployed. Welcome to 45-46 feet. Enjoy your stay.
What is up, folks? This is Ericast, and welcome to Subnautica Below Zero. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, if I was in this spot, I'd be terrified, but it is quite beautiful. Alright, so let's go and switch off of that. Yeah. So I've been looking forward to playing this game for a while now. As you can see, it is still in early access, but we are in the pre-release version that will be released in about a month and a half. I think that's right. It should be early to mid-May. So yeah, they're going to work on some bug fixes and all that kind of stuff, but we actually get the version of the game now that we will be seeing in the future, which is actually a really big deal because the story of this game is actually fairly new. The story has had a bit of an issue, or several issues. I'm trying to look around to see if I can pick up anything here. I can actually come back later, but oh, there we go. There's something. But my heat is about to freeze to death.
Hypothermia imminent.
There we go. Stand near the fire and it helps us a little bit. The story has run into a few problems along the way, and that is because the writer for the story the way it is now is not the original writer of the story. In fact, it is an entirely new writer, and I'm looking forward to seeing... Oh, those are really
Holy
cool.
smokes! That did not go as planned. I should find a way into the water and get to the drop pod.
So these guys actually emit heat. You can see my temperature is not going down. Let's see if I can get it to drop. Yeah, even just a little bit. That's really cool. But anyway, so the original writer through... Let's just say there were issues. They parted ways with the company... I don't know, I guess maybe about a year ago, maybe a little bit more. It's hard to remember. But they parted ways after the story was unfinished. I think there was a timing issue, like they weren't being maybe as productive as they should have been. But the story was incomplete, and it was in the end completely done away with. So a game without a writer, and let's just say as a writer myself, it is much harder to jump into somebody else's story and make it coherent and actually good than it is to just scrap it and rewrite a new story. So that is exactly what happened. Actus, I can't... Oh, no, I can come back and go that way. Yeah, let's jump in here and do a belly flop. Because that's the only type of diving Subnautica knows is belly flops. So let's go ahead and look around a little bit here. Now, I've played a little bit of this game. I actually recorded this episode once before, and I was not satisfied with the frame rate of the video. So I decided to re-record the first 30 minutes or so. And that is where we are at the moment. I have to say, this is beautiful. Subnautica, Unknown Worlds, right? They make beautiful environments. They really do. I just want to sit and look at it. I would drown, but, you know, or actually, no, I wouldn't drown. I would suffocate. Interesting to note. You can actually suffocate under, I mean, well, it's obviously you can suffocate underwater, but, you know, in this particular instance, I would suffocate rather than drown. So we've got a pod over here. Just looking for resources, which there's some down there. But I will definitely spend some time, a lot of time, gathering resources. So I haven't played this game more than, I thought I heard something, more than a half an hour or so.
Found the drop pod.
Oh. So I know you guys actually might know more about this game than I do. All right, so what have we got here? Basic materials we're going to need a bunch of fiber mesh and silicone. I can imagine, because in the past that has definitely been the case. I have played the first game, so just plain old Subnautica, I spent quite a bit of time with and loved. So that is why I've been looking forward to this game so much. Copper wire, batteries, so just your basic resources or components. A standard O2 tank. Now this is going to be extremely important. It's not going to be the best thing in the world, but anything that can increase our oxygen is going to be quite literally a lifesaver. Fins. So 15% might not sound like much, but I mean, this is Subnautica. We're going to be spending most of our time in the water. So 15% over the course of hours. Yeah, pretty important. Compass. Great for getting our direction, of course. First aid. Okay, so that'll help heal us when we get hurt by the fishies. Scanner. It's going to help us get some research. Flashlight. I mean, what does a flashlight do? Same thing with a flare. Flares are actually really cheap to do. Only 1 crystalline sulfur per. And our survival knife, which is going to help us collect resources and fight off the fishies. And of course, some extra storage space, which is always nice. Those actually aren't going to be very useful for long. Like, most of this stuff is going to be useful throughout our playthrough. But waterproof lockers, while very convenient, let's just say there are better solutions that will be upcoming. And storage, which I could be wrong, but I think this storage is actually quite a bit larger than, or at least one row larger, like one set of rows larger than the previous game. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong on that, but I think. And we've got all our recipes right here. So if we're out and about, we can take a look. All right.
Well,
so,
Sam, I guess I might as well gather some tools and resources before starting my search. Hope that radio tower's as easy to spot as Lil said.
All right, so these menus drive me crazy. All right, so if it's any type of storage, whether it's your pad or the empty storage, to get rid of it, to go back to just walking around and stuff, press tab. For the fabricators and any sort of crafting, you hit escape, not tab. So you will see me hitting escape constantly and going back to the pause menu or just the menu, because that happened in the last game. I know what will happen in this game. All right, so so ribbon plants. I can't collect those until we have a knife. We can collect
plants
these.
contain electrolytic materials that can be used in energy storage.
Okay, so that'll help us make batteries. We're definitely going to need a bunch of those. If experience serves me at all. Catch bladderfish. Come here. There we go.
Creature discovered.
Okay. And we're going to need these. Okay, so that's going to help us with filtered water.
Oxygen print synthesized.
So getting oxygen is actually really quick, which is very nice.
New creature discovered.
So that's going to help us with food.
Should be able to use this.
And I'm in the future, I'm probably not going to record a lot of my resource gathering because there's going to be a lot of it. But some quartz for some glass. But here at the beginning, while I'm doing a little bit of exploring, I think it's going to be a good idea to go ahead and record
Oxygen.
that. Okay, so we got some lead there as well. Get to the surface. Plenty of time. Plenty of time being 0 seconds. Did you see how it jumped from 3 to 0? What the heck? What the... Oh, it's raining? Oh, that's interesting. I was like, is it some kind of like object storm, like meteor shower, or something that has a lot of really small grains? But no, it's just water. That's actually a really interesting detail. Huh. Okay. So we've got some quartz over here. Right? Quartz, yeah. What else do we have around here? It is getting dark, and we don't have a light. Well, I mean, I do have this, which is actually very light, or very bright. But it's also really distracting. It's not as distracting if it's on the ground, which you can throw it, which I guess I'll use right-click to... Oh, wow, that was actually a pretty good chuck, considering we're underwater. But it's also extremely distracting. So I'm not going to use that. But the bioluminescence of everything around here, eat something. I'm actually okay on food. So it's going to warn you about food a lot more than you actually need to worry about food. So just don't ignore it. But at the same time, just keep in mind that it is oversensitive of the fact that you need to eat. These coral bridges are kind of cool. I've actually got all kinds of stuff that we around here.
Oxygen.
So oxygen is definitely our limiting factor this early on. Oxygen and speed. So I do know that you can get a sea glide in this. So getting a sea glide is actually, if we can get that research early on, that's going to help us out immeasurably. You'll be using the sea glide for the rest of your playthrough. So keep that in mind if you ever get the opportunity to research anything. But I'm not seeing the things that I need. I'm looking for the kelp, or what's it called in this game? The earth analog would be kelp. Creepvine, I think. That's right.
Oxygen.
Come here.
New
Come here,
creature
fishy.
discovered.
Okay, so that one's another food fish. I've always loved the planets and moons in this game. I mean, not this game in particular, this series. Now, it's kind of hidden right now, but if we can get a really good look at them sometime, they are just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, there's some over here. Now, this is the same world that we crash landed on the previous time. I mean, the characters are completely different, and the region is completely different, but
Calorie
the world...
intake recommended.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to ignore you. I'm not seeing any seeds. I can't actually cut the samples off of these yet until I get my knife. There we go. They're red. Interesting.
Oxygen.
Yeah, I know. I'm swimming. I'm swimming. See, isn't that gorgeous? We've got the ice there in the foreground too. Anyway, let's go back down here. Now here's our creepvine, and here are our seed clusters, which...
New blueprint
darn.
synthesized.
Okay, just one left, so we can't do a whole lot about that. I'll come back for more later. It's actually not that far. Well, I mean, I guess swimming this way it is. What are you? I assume you're hostile. Because I haven't run into... Yeah, you're kind of coming after me. Oh, come here. Any bubble eyes? Peepers? Oh, okay, right. Oh, yeah, my inventory's full.
Oxygen.
Right. All right, so let's go ahead and head back. 100 meters. It's a long way when you're this slow. But enjoy. All right, so a lot of people say that the game is, or the first game anyway, they haven't talked a lot about the second one just yet because it's not completely out yet. But they say it's very empty to them. I've heard that comment. This is one of those games where just making it to a new location is part of the experience. Now, that sounds kind of like a cop-out, and I mean, to a degree it is, but when you're experiencing the environment, when you're making it past threats and that sort of thing, it is part of the experience. I mean, whether you want it to be or not, whether you're looking for something else or not, I mean, that's fine. But, you know, it's just something to keep in mind. All right, so that's actually not what we want to do, but we do want to do water, which we need bladder fish for. That's the only thing we can do for water at the moment. One thing you need to keep in mind when it comes to food is that once you cook it, food decays. So beforehand, if you just had these fish here, see, they're not decaying, but these are, and they're actually restoring less food and water the longer that you keep them in your inventory. And also, of course, as you can see here, they do different amounts. So let's go ahead and consume those. And I can go ahead
Vital
and do
signs stabilizing.
both of those. And I could actually go ahead and do we'll go ahead and do 2 water. Now, something you can also keep in mind about food is you can get it up to 120%. So I can go ahead and cook these. And that one. And I don't think it's actually going to get me to full. Oh, it might get me just a little bit over. Yeah, so you can go a little bit over 100. So that's nice. I mean, you could equally just have the circle not fill until it's 120, but you can go a little bit more than full. So that's convenient at least. Okay, so we can't do cured food just yet because we need salt, and I don't have any salt. And our new thing that we can do is the air bladder, which can also come from silicone rubber and bladderfish. So, is that new? I know I've never used it before. Now, in real life, that's a good way to kill yourself if you're super deep, but I mean, if you don't have another choice and you're gonna die, yeah, I mean, that could be really nice. All right, so we can actually do a waterproof locker. Now, as I mentioned, these are very situational. The storage is not that big, but it is extra storage. As right now, I can't build anything on the interiors. So having any extra storage at all is nice. Doesn't matter how good it is, it's extra storage. Okay, so I know I'll need some glass in a minute. I can only make 1. I don't think I can do anything on lubricant at the moment. We will need it, but my chair's squeaking. We do need rubber, and it's actually doing 2 per seed cluster, so that's actually pretty nice. Now let's take a look. Let's see if we can do anything. Okay, fins. We can't do anything yet with that. I need a knife. Okay, good. I can make a knife. That's the thing that we need most right now. Even though what I said holds true about the fins, the knife is going to allow us to collect resources to progress. So even though, swimming slower would be a pain in the butt, it's, you can remain a pain in the butt and you need a survival knife because you're not going to progress any without it. So we also need a scanner. The light would be nice, but we really need a scanner. So let's check out how many batteries we can make. All right, so it takes 2 per. So let's go ahead and craft those up. Now there are 2 devices that I need to have. I don't think it actually did that. Did it do that originally? Did it have the the 1 in parentheses beside it? I don't remember. If not, that is a really good addition. If so, you know. But we need 2 for these, and it's always good to have an extra one. Now these aren't actually gonna drain a whole lot of power, but batteries are gonna be something
I have a scanner.
that you're going to need in the future, and having extras is not a bad thing. What is that? Oh, I think it's just the ice. Yeah. The sound of ice colliding. That's awesome. Alright, so I'm actually going to go ahead and stop and collect some resources. I know I need to head back and get some of those creep vines and just hack away at them with our knife. And I also need to collect some things like titanium and quartz and all those kinds of fun things. So I'm going to take a minute and do that, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I actually haven't done what I set out to do, but there is... Oh, I didn't realize I had an opportunity to scan that because I thought I just did. But anyway, so I'm going to explain how the scanner works for those who haven't played the game, because right here we have a sea glide fragment. Now these are, as I've said before, extremely important. If you find one, make note of where it is. If you can't, go ahead and scan it. If you don't have your scanner yet, make sure you know where it is. So all you do is you pull out your scanner and you hold down right click until it's done. Sounds super simple, and on plants, it is, because they don't move, or they generally don't move. Now on fish, I've already scanned most of these fish, so I can't really hold an example here, but you've got to actually chase down the fish and continue to hold right click while they're swimming away from you. Catching them sometimes can be hard enough as it is. Scanning them, well, good luck. Especially if it's a Leviathan. Rest in peace, I guess. Have fun, you know, getting back all the stuff you lost. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. Running around, scanning things, breaking any rocks I find for resources, looking for wherever I left that vegetation. Because I don't remember where I had those creep vines. Come back here. It definitely doesn't help not having a compass. So, yeah. Actually, we need oxygen first. I was going to say, let's check out that cave real quick. Over there is where those creep vines are. Let me see what's in the cave. Now, generally early game, caves are dangerous. So be careful. Oh, here's a bladderfish. And this one's actually very helpful. It just kind of hovered there against the wall. So that's nice. Caves are a good way to die. I'll just say that, because you don't have much O2. So the deeper they go, the less chance you have of coming back. And you don't want to die because you're going to lose everything. Well, I was going to say everything in your inventory. That's not quite true. During the previous recording of this episode that I deleted, I did die once. I froze to death, as I didn't realize you could freeze underwater, which I'm still not sure if that was actually an attack by something or if I did freeze underwater, because both of them actually make sense. I was very close to the atmosphere of these games is amazing, by the way. And there's a penguin. These guys are actually really cool. They're the mascot of the game, but they're swimming underwater catching fish mostly at the moment. Oh, here's some up here. You can actually pick them up, but is it in my inventory? Is that what just happened? It is. Okay, well, I'm not going to carry you around because that doesn't seem very nice. Oh, did I actually... Well, I meant to make water, but apparently I didn't. It cooked it. Oh, that was a waste, but it's fine. They're easy enough to catch. But anyway, where did I find that? I am being so distracted. Distracted so easily. These were really cool. I know I've said that before. Oh, I can actually scan it. Let's go ahead and scan that. But anyway, so yeah. There's our knife. It's not a laser knife like the last one was. The last one, in the last game, it had like a. Okay, so that's not a good. There we go.
Oxygen.
I'm not paying attention at all. Because there are things I want to say, and I'm forgetting them as soon as I want to say it and get distracted by something else. So if I don't finish half the thoughts that I planned to actually say, sorry guys. Alright, so we need these. Oh, I can actually scan those as well. So let's go ahead and scan
Blueprint
this.
synthesized.
Sweet. So we're going to want to fill up on these. Unfortunately, they decay. And they also take up 4 spaces, which kind of sucks. I don't really... There. There we go. Alright, now where is home? Home is over there. And we're going to need oxygen. Alright, so you may wonder why I deleted the episode. Kind of alluded to it. I wasn't satisfied with it. The frame rate wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. And there's a good reason for that. Alright, so for the reason I'm explaining this is just in case any of you guys record or plan on recording. If you have, I'll just kind of come out here while I'm talking. If you have a 4K monitor, things are going to be naturally more complicated for you. The reason being that you will not always be able to record at 4K because not only do you have the stresses of the game on your system, but you also have the heavy stress that your recording software places on your computer. And so I cannot, in most games, even some like fairly okay, lower end games, record at 4K while also playing at 4K. So an option is always to reduce the quality of what you're seeing on your screen. So instead of playing at 4K, play at 1440. You do not want to play at 1080 if you have a choice because it just looks bad. It's like watching, like for people who don't have high-res monitors, it's like watching...
Dangerous weather approaching. Seek shelter.
Oh, okay. It's like watching an old like 360 or 720p video on a 1080p monitor or TV. It looks, you can deal with it, but it does not look good. So when you're using a 4K monitor, yeah, you don't want to play, especially anything under 1080, but you definitely don't want to play at 1440. I think I've actually got 1440 running right now. But another option, or another thing that you do is you have the output of your recording at a lower resolution, which is usually what I do. But I'm trying to record at 1440 for you guys, just in case you have at least that or a 4K monitor, then it's going to be an option for you. But it didn't work out. It dropped down to 30 FPS, which for me is not something that I want to put out there. So we're going to be doing this in 1080, which usually if you're watching a video, it's fine. If you're playing a game, it's something else. But a video on YouTube is generally fine, especially because the way that YouTube compresses content generally causes problems anyway. When you're watching your favorite YouTuber, the content as they see it when they make their videos is much higher quality than what you actually get on YouTube, which is kind of sad, but you know what? There's so many videos on YouTube that it's understandable. So also these decay. I'm just gonna eat that, whatever. All right, so for the tank, I think we're gonna need titanium. Oh, I didn't actually click on it. All right, so we're gonna need titanium. We actually have a bunch in our inventory. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. O2 tank, fiber mesh, and titanium. Sweet. Oops. Well, I'm glad that's either self-repairing or I didn't break it. All right, so resources. That personal. We can also make a med kit, but the tank is far more important right now.
Adding additional blueprints to your databank.
Okay, so this also allows
The
us to.
standard oxygen tank can be upgraded for deluxe and VIP breathing.
We can also make a floating air pump and some pipes, which is going to allow us to stay underwater a longer amount of time, which is actually really helpful. I haven't used these a lot in the past, but they're rather nice, especially when you get it to deeper depths and start, building your base and all that kind of stuff. And we can also make a repair tool, but we can't build at the moment, so that's not really an issue, unless, of course, I destroy our fabricator, because I accidentally right-click on it and swing my knife at it. So that's actually going to do us for today. I'm probably going to collect some resources in between this episode and next. Is this bad weather still going on up here? It looks like a blizzard or something. There was lightning coming in. I love how the weather changes, though, and the way you can actually see it underwater. Now, you can't really see it as far as, I can see the moons and stuff right now. I can kind of see it. But, of course, we can't see the clouds and stuff, but that's fairly realistic. But anyway, so that's going to do us for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really looking forward to getting into this game. I was even thinking about streaming it, but I decided to go this route instead. Bladderfish. But yeah, anyway, so I'm going to collect some resources, and I will see you guys next time. So till then, take it easy.